if they do it the right way. So that does get us now, though, to the, as you were mentioning, some of these QBs that if you don't get Allen, let's kind of wait. The one other guy that I could see, the more I'm writing about him, I just started writing about him today, that joins that kind of elite tier is Carson Wentz. I mean, you think speed, more speed. That's all they had all offseason. They had nothing last year, and now he gets this completely revamped wide receiver core after still finishing as the QB9 last year with pretty much garbage at the position. Obviously, some nice tight ends and a great Miles Sanders in the backfield. Those guys still exist, and then you get some nice wide receivers around them to stretch the field. I think that offense could also completely take off to, it's already been solid under Peterson, but we might see levels we haven't. What's your feelings on Carson Wentz next year?
I'm higher on him than the consensus rank. I mean, he's my QB8 right now. I just think, again, you got those Konami Code dudes in the top 7 spots, but I'll take Wentz over guys like Breeze, Ryan, Brady, and Stafford just because the upside here is huge. We've seen the upside. It's 2017 legit league MVP caliber player. And I mean, if you look at 2017, why was Wentz so good? One reason was because they actually had consistent field stretchers. Torrey Smith and rookie year Matt Collins. No, these guys weren't amazing players. They didn't have big years, but they were good enough to threaten downfield, and they continued to be vital cogs up through the Super Bowl. So 2018, they lose Torrey. They try to replace him with Mike Wallace, who is hurt before the season even starts. Collins gets hurt. Last season, they tried to bring in Deshaun Jackson. We saw what one game looked like, and then he gets hurt. Right. Collins, at this point isn't doing anything. So we just have not seen Wentz with field stretchers since 2017, and that was when he was playing at this great level. So now not only do we have D-Jax back, Marquise Goodwin, Jalen Reagor, they drafted more just late-round wide receivers that I don't think are going to produce anything, but they all can just fly. So shouldn't have that end of the 2019 season like we need to feed Joshua Perkins and Boston Scott purgatory type stuff ever again. I mean, look, these guys aren't terrible players, but they should not be guys you're relying on as top targets during a playoff stretch. So I think with Wentz, like the negatives about Wentz, when you ask people, they go, oh, he's just going to get hurt. Like, what, he'll be a QB1 for 8 weeks. If the worst thing you can say about a player is that you think he's injury prone, just be careful, because I think we overuse that term a lot. And like just Wentz specifically, he's gotten hurt from an ATV accident. He got a cheap shot on a slide, and then he, against the Rams, kind of awkwardly tried to go over a linebacker and tore his ACL. So just kind of unfortunate. I don't think it's anything that we just need to worry about year to year, like a Jordan Reed or something like that at this point. So Wentz, yeah, sign me up, man.
Absolutely, yeah. It's good to hear you're higher on him, too, because I always love your rankings. All about, too, when you have speed and you also have the offensive line that's going to let that speed actually matter. You said Torrey Smith and Matt Collins, if Reagor hits the ceiling, if he's as good as everybody thinks he could be. You mentioned Deshaun Jackson, that one game for week 1. That was Carson Wentz's highest scoring output, 28.5, and he was never, really that great again. He was I just find it shocking, though, that Wentz was in 62% of the games, a top 12 quarterback, never really hit above 6 or 5. I think 5 was the ultimate highest weekly finish he had, but he was still balling out for the majority of the year with, as you mentioned, Greg Ward. I think a converted QB was his top target for the last quarter or so of the season. If some of these speed guys, Goodwin, we've seen light it up just a few seasons ago. You just need 1 or 2 of them to hit, and if one of them goes down, at least you have some backup in depth here finally too. We already know how Ertz and Goddard and Sanders and Jeffrey could work the underneath. This could be one of those offenses. Again, we talked about the Cowboys never coming off the field. The Chiefs are never coming off the field. I think Wentz is that talented that this could end up being one of those offenses that's just points after points after points. 2017 QB2 in points per game. If it's going to happen, it could definitely. This is the lineup. This is the setting.